we get started, I know Dr. Latassi told you guys you would not be tested on today's material on Friday. You both, I figured some of you guys knew that probably wasn't correct. So, Dr. Latassi is used to teaching pharmacy students for, you have 4 years to complete pharmacy school. You guys have 12 months to get this. We don't have time to teach you material and let you simmer over it for a couple of months and then take a test on it. You don't want it that way anyway, because then you would have so much stuff to learn and your test questions would be 400 test questions long. So you don't want that either, okay? So you will be tested on the material this Friday. She apologizes, we didn't communicate that would be happening. But she felt like she covered the material well, and she feels like that you guys will be able to get it by Friday. Okay? So everything you get before the test, you will always be tested on the next test. Intro to Human Form is a little bit different because you have so many tests throughout the course, because we have to break it up or it's too much material to test. Could you guys imagine having one test at the end of this? No, right? It's going to be insane. So, but for your other courses, like ENT, you'll have one test at the end of that. So, but you'll start learning things will become repetitive. You won't be hearing words for the first time in your life. Okay? Any questions about that? Yeah?
I know that you say normally average 7 to 10 questions. She specifically said there was 5 on both PowerPoints that we had gone over previously, so they need to expect 5 off this one as well.
So she was talking about hour 1, she wrote 5 questions for it, and hour 2, she wrote 5 questions for it. So that still falls in that 7 to 12 range.
Okay.
So for that 2-hour time block, you'll have 10 test questions written over that.
Okay.
For today's 2-hour test block, you'll have 7 to 12 test questions written over this as well.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
She broke those lectures down into 1 hour and 2 hour, but if you look at it as 2-hour block, it still follows that same pattern.
Okay.
Any other questions about that?
Right now, there's on the D2L, there's 3 handouts. Is there supposed to be another one? Because I don't think that the last handout sheet that is available covered all of the topics that she went over in the last lecture.
Yeah.
You went over everything?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well, just kidding. So there's just 3.
From what I understood, there was just a handout over hour 1, a handout over hour 2, and then 1 handout for all of today.
Okay, perfect.
That's all she's given me.
That's perfect.
Anything else? About the farm, about the test, about life?
That we don't have?
Yeah, I know. You'll get back. You'll get back, I promise. We're fixing to sing a Spanish alphabet song. What's not living about this, right? Okay, so this is my disclaimer for this course. I did not have Spanish background. I did not learn Spanish in school. I didn't take it in college. I don't have a minor in Spanish. I don't look at Spanish from an education standpoint. I have learned Spanish through my family, through my husband and his family being inundated in it. We watch TV in Spanish, we listen to Spanish on the radio, we speak Spanish on every holiday. Sometimes we speak it at the house when we don't want our son to know what we're talking about, or when we're angry at each other. We usually try to do it in Spanish just because it just makes more of an impact. Somebody said it in Spanish, it just means more, it's louder and more animated. So, if I may not pronounce things correctly, and if you guys feel free to correct me, or if you've heard another pronunciation at any time, I'm going to go through this whole PowerPoint with you guys, and we can practice if you guys want to on anything. And then the quiz will be at the end of this lecture, very similar to medical terminology. Get together in your groups and work through it. Okay? So Meredith was telling me about this Spanish song. The one thing I love about Spanish is every letter makes the same sound every time. Okay? Like, we don't have a long A and a short A and an A that sounds like an O. Every time you say it says every time. I feel like I could read anything in Spanish if I just know what sounds the letters make. You could sound it out because they always make the same sound. CH is its own letter. It sounds like ch. And LL is its own letter, and it makes a Y sound. Like, yeah. You know that? You'll be fine. Okay? So when you see 2 L's put together, yeah. Okay, let's listen to this alphabet song. They'll do a better job than I will.
A, B, C, Ch, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z.
The alphabet is easy to learn. Speak in rhythm, each letter gets a turn. The alphabet is easy to learn. Speak in rhythm, each letter gets a turn.
It's your turn now. Repeat after me. A, B, C, Ch, D, E, F,
A, B, C, Ch, D, E, F,
G, H, I, J, K, L,
G, H, I, J, K, L,
M, N, O, P,
E, M, N, O, P,
Q, R, S, T, U, V,
Q, R, S, T, U, V,
W, X, Y, Z.
W, X, Y, Z.
The alphabet.
Thank you, Meredith. So you guys can Google that song if you need to learn how to pronounce it. Okay, so these are your objectives for today. Okay, so the way when you walk into a room and you're gonna greet a patient in Spanish, you don't say hola. I know people are like, what? You greet them depending on the time of the day. So in the morning, and I walk into a room, I say buenos dias. That's the greeting. That's how you start the encounter. If it's in the afternoon, I'll say buena tarde. Buena tarde drives me crazy because there's no S on either one, and there's S's on all the other ones. So sometimes I'll say buenas tardes, and I'm like, ah, I'm a white girl, buena tarde. So then I have to like fix it, like really quick. It just rolls off my mouth. And then at night, if you're seeing someone in the evening, like last night at my son's soccer game, when we greeted like the other players, buenas noches, ¿cómo estás? Like good afternoon or good night. It doesn't mean let's go to bed. It means good night. It's nighttime. Are you having a good night? So hola is sometimes used secondary. You'll say buenas tardes, ¿cómo estás? And hola is kind of like it's really not used that much. But when it is used, it's almost like a surprise. Like, oh, hi. You know how we'll do, oh, hi, when you see someone surprisingly. So when if like someone walks around the corner, I don't say, oh, buenas noches, like, buenos dias. I'm like, oh, hola. Like, it's just a surprise hi is kind of when it's used. And goodbye is like adios. You can also say hasta luego, but you're not going to be tested on that. That means see you later. So all of these are fair game on today's quiz. Moving forward, I really only want you guys to concentrate on the underlined words, okay? These are going to be like your verbs and the really important medical words moving forward. So you can learn the phrases, but really know these underlined words for sure. I think this page is really important, so I would know some of these things. These are things you're going to be using all the time. Por favor means please. Gracias, you guys have heard, thank you. De nada is you're welcome. Lo siento is a word that you'll use a lot. It means I'm sorry, especially if you're giving bad news. You'll say lo siento, like I'm sorry, or lo siento, no entiendo, like I'm sorry, I don't understand you. How are you feeling today? I usually, after I greet the patient, I'll say, ¿Cómo te sientes hoy? How are you feeling today? Especially if I've seen them back and they're coming back to me for a second time. ¿Te sientes mejor? Are you feeling better? Sientes, you can see, means feel, right? How are you feeling today? ¿Cómo means how. Hoy means today. ¿Te sientes? Are you feeling? Mejor is better. Have a good day. Tenga un buen día. And one of my favorite words is discúlpame. Excuse me.
Could you also use perdóname?
Yeah, perdóname, use like perdóname is like, it's kind of like when you bump into someone. It's like, when you do an action. Like if I'm listening to her ear and I pull her hair, I'm like, oh, perdóname. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. But if I'm talking and I'm like, oh, discúlpame, like, excuse me, like, what are you saying? Or if you want to get like, discúlpame, if you want to raise your hand to get attention, that's how you would do it in Spanish. So that's the difference between discúlpame and perdón.
What is it, perdóname?
Or excuse me is perdóname, or perdón is just excuse. It's like you'll say perdón like when you're trying to get through a crowded room and you're trying to move through, you say perdón, like perdóname, like let me by or excuse me to get through. So it's more of an action is perdón. And discúlpame is like attention, like you're just trying to get someone's attention. Do we need to stay on this any longer? Okay, so let's say these words back. Por favor.
Por favor.
Gracias.
Gracias.
De nada.
De nada.
Siento.
Siento.
Lo siento.
Lo siento.
¿Cómo?
¿Cómo?
¿Cómo te sientes hoy?
¿Cómo te sientes hoy?
¿Te sientes mejor?
¿Te sientes mejor?
Mejor.
Mejor.
Tenga un buen día.
Tenga un buen día.
Discúlpame.
Discúlpame.
What does como mean?
How?
What does mejor mean? Bien. Discúlpame. Good. Okay. A lot of times when I go into a room with a patient, I start the encounter in English because I want to see their level of English. Because sometimes if I start in English and they'll say, like, lo siento, yo no entiendo inglés, then I know they know no English words whatsoever. If I say, hey, how are you doing today? And they're like, fine. Tell me what's wrong. My knee? Like I can kind of understand like where their level of English is and when they can help me and when I feel like I'm gonna be on my own here. And a lot of times if I have to give like really bad news or if I'm gonna have to give a long detailed instruction, I'll either get a translator or get some help. Because they're gonna, especially if it's bad news, it's just gonna go out of their mind. And they don't have time to help me translate and try to understand what I'm saying. So, sometimes I'll say, do you speak English? ¿Hablas inglés? Or do you understand? ¿Lo entiendes? Do you understand? Do you understand? ¿Lo entiendes? A lot of times you'll just say, ¿entiendes? Like, understand? But the correct way is ¿lo entiendes? No entiendo, I don't understand. I say this a lot when someone's like, then they just rattle off for 7 minutes what's wrong with them, and I'm like, no entiendo nada. I didn't understand anything you said. And then I can say, repito esto, por favor. Repeat this, please. Repito eso, por favor. Or por favor, solamente responder sí or no. So there are some people, there's some dialects I can't understand. I had a patient from Ecuador, I didn't know what she was saying at all. I understood hi and bye from her, and everything else was like a Spanish I'd never heard before. And so sometimes, and she didn't speak any English, so I would say, I'm gonna ask you questions. Por favor, solamente responder sí or no. Just say yes or no to these questions until I can kind of figure out what's going on. And then maybe we can use some Spanish verbs to figure out the rest. And then sometimes, especially with my sister-in-law, I'll say, habla despacio, por favor. Despacio means slow. Slow. So you'll hear a lot of mothers yelling at their kids, despacio! Like when they're running out at the park, like they're telling them to slow down, stop running. So, let's do this, okay? Hablas inglés?
Hablas inglés.
Lo entiendes.
Lo entiendes.
No entiendo.
No entiendo.
Repite eso, por favor.
Repite eso, por favor.
Por favor, solamente responder sí o no.
Por favor, solamente responder sí o no.
Okay. Habla despacio, por favor.
Habla despacio, por favor.
Good. Okay, so they're going to say, who are you? You're going to have to identify yourself. And in Spanish, there is an approved Spanish term for PA, and it's asociado médico. Associate physician is what it stands for. So when you would go in and describe yourself, you would say your name, which we're going to learn, or My name is, me llamo es Amy, soy una asociado médico. You would say, me llamo es Kayla, soy una estudiante de asociado médico. I'm a student, I'm a PA student, is what that means. Estudiante is student, soy means I am, un for boy, una for girl, estudiante de asociado médico. Me llamo es is my name is. When you want to know someone's name, you say, ¿Cómo te llamas? And then nice to meet you means mucho gusto. So I will say, you know, when I'm greeting someone for the first time, buenos días, ¿cómo sientes hoy? Yo soy una asociado de médico, mi llamo es Amy, ¿cómo te llamas tú? And then es mucho gusto, it's nice to meet you. Or sometimes when they come in, they'll, you know, we'll shake hands and I'll say, ay, mucho gusto, it's nice to meet you. Okay? So, soy una estudiante de médico.
Soy una estudiante de asociado.
Larry, you're not an una, you're an Okay, good. Me llamo es.
Me llamo es.
¿Cómo se llamas?
¿Cómo se llamas?
And mucho gusto.
Mucho gusto.
So the words here underline llamo is name, mucho gusto is nice to meet you. So these are some questions you can use for past medical history. I do not expect you guys to memorize these questions or these phrases. I just want you to have heard them. I think the underlined words you can probably get through. If you just say the underlined word, they can probably figure out what you're saying. Are you healthy? Is usualmente eres sana. Sana means healthy, or your health. ¿Alguna vez has estado en el hospital? The H's are always silent. ¿Alguna vez means have you ever? And what were you hospitalized for? ¿Por qué estuviste hospitalizada? Why were you hospitalized? What medical problems have you had? ¿Qué problemas médicos hay teniendo? Have you had is hay teniendo. Have you ever? ¿Alguna vez? Have you ever had surgery? ¿Alguna vez has tenido una cirugía? So if you can just remember cirugía, surgery, you can say ¿alguna vez cirugía? They're going to understand what you're saying. Have you ever? Surgery. So if someone was speaking to you in a foreign language and they said, have you ever surgery? You would know. They're saying, oh, have I ever had a surgery before, right? And you'd be able to answer appropriately. So the words I want you to know here is sana. Sana. Alguna vez.
Alguna vez.
Atiendo.
Atiendo.
Cirugía.
Cirugía.
Good. Okay, so let's talk about family. When you want to ask someone, are they married? ¿Estás cansado? Casado. Cansado means are you tired? Casado means married. So I've asked several people before when I was learning, are you tired? And they're like, no. And I'm like, well, who's that? They're like, it's my husband. I'm like, oh, casado. I'm sorry. Estás casado. Do you have children? ¿Tienes hijos? The H is always silent. I sounds like the letter E, so hijos. The J sounds like the H. And then what is your relationship to this patient? A lot of times with a Spanish family, they're very extended. So who you think are the brothers or really the nephews or the uncles, or I mean, you just cannot tell relation unless you ask, especially in an extended Hispanic family. ¿Cuál es tu relación con el paciente? Patient is paciente. Son is hijo, daughter is hija, husband is esposo, wife is esposa, you just changed the O to the A. Same with brother and sister, hermano is brother, hermana is sister. Okay, so let's say the underlying words. Casado,
Casado.
paciente,
Paciente.
hijo,
Hijo.
hija,
Hija.
esposo,
Esposo.
esposa,
Esposa.
hermano,
Hermano.
hermana.
Hermana.
Is there any words that you guys had no idea what it was on this slide? Or you kind of already heard them before at some point?
No.
Okay. All right, social history. What kind of work do you do? ¿Qué tipo, what type de trabajo hace usted, do you do? Trabajo is work. So you can just say trabajo or trabajas, and they can usually understand you're asking me if I work. Fumas means do you smoke? Have you ever smoked? We know alguna vez means have you ever? Alguna vez fumado? Have you ever smoked? And then when did you quit smoking? ¿Cuándo dejó de fumar? When did you stop smoking? So dejo means quit. So you will, if you're in Walmart and you hear a Spanish speaking person, they will always be saying, deja, deja esa, leave it alone, quit touching that, deja, deja. Like, I say that to my daughter and son all the time, especially when he's doing something and I'm like with the, like, especially at school or the PTO, and I'm like, deja eso. Like, I don't want them to know I'm telling you to quit, but I'm like, you know, like when you're like really want your kids to be acting the right way, that's when I'll pull out the dejo. He knows what that means. Okay, so trabajo means work. Fumas, dejo.
Dejo.
And you can also say deja if you're talking to a girl, or if it's a girl object, which don't worry about that. Dejo's fine. They'll know what you're saying. Okay, social history. Bebes alcohol. Do you drink alcohol? ¿Cuánto bebes por día? How much do you drink a day? So cuánto means how much. So this is a really, really important verb. So como means how, cuánto means how much. So when they say something like si duele, like it hurts, you can say cuánto. How much does it hurt? And then have you ever used drugs? ¿Alguna vez usado drogas? Drogas in Spanish means illegal drugs. They don't have a word for medicina is prescription drugs, so drogas means an illegal drug. Which ones is cuáles? You'll use cuáles a lot. Like when they say my foot hurts, cuáles? Which foot? Which one hurts? Okay. Bebes alcohol.
Bebes alcohol.
And bebes means cuánto.
Cuánto.
And that means drogas.
Drogas.
And it means and cuáles.
Cuáles.
And that means good. Okay. So these are some more longer questions you can use as a reference. I've underlined the words I think are important. Are there any diseases that run in your family? And me and my husband went back and forth about how you would ask this, how you would write this in the best way. And this is the best way we could come up with. Alguna enfermedad hereditaria en su familia. Like, enfermedad means diseases or sickness. I think sickness is the better translation for enfermedad. And hereditaria means genetic, en tu familia. He said, I think if you're asking the majority of immigrants, this question, they won't understand what you're saying because they don't really know what the term hereditaria means. Like, they don't know that means genetic or passed down. He said that he thinks that's like an upper education word that they may not have. So, enfermedad means sickness. Alguien en su familia tiene diabetes. Diabetes, you'll learn that word in Spanish. You'll know it a lot. Alguna en su familia tiene problemas del corazón. Corazón means heart. Okay. Are your parents living? ¿Están sus padres que vivos? Vivos means living. Padres is parents. So, enfermedad, diabetes, corazón, padres. Very good. Padres means, corazón means, enfermedad, sickness or disease. Good. How old was your father when he died? ¿Qué edad tiene su padre cuando murió? Murió means died. My mind just went blank. The Spanish word for scared. Miedo. So when I was learning miedo, I would often confuse it with murió. And so sometimes I would say, somebody died, but I meant they just scared me. So you can tell how me and my mother-in-law kind of had some interesting conversations about died and scared. So, murió is dead. So, ¿qué edad tiene su madre cuando murió? And de qué murió? What did she die from? Or what did he die from? And cómo es la salud de sus hermanos? how is the health of your siblings? Okay. So, murió, and that means, okay, and hermanos is siblings, that's the plural for siblings. So hermana means sister, hermano means brother, hermanos means siblings. Okay? Okay, numbers. Does anyone not know their numbers? 0 through 10 in Spanish? Let's just say them back and forth. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Congratulations. Very good. Teaspoon means cucharadilla. Tablespoon, cucharada. Media pastilla, half a pill. Una pastilla means 1 pill. En la mañana, in the morning. En la noche, at night. En con comida means with food. And en ayunas means on an empty stomach, or before breakfast is how it translates. Okay? So, cucharada, media pastilla, una pastilla, en la mañana, en la noche, con comida. Con means with, comida means food. So preventative health. Do you monitor your cholesterol level? Controlas tu nivel de colesterol. Controlas su presión. Do you monitor your blood pressure? ¿Cuándo fue su última Papa Nicolau? When was your last pap smear? And ¿cuándo fue? When? ¿Cuándo es when? Fue su último mamograma. And that's when was. Fue means past was. Your last. Su último, your last. And you can say pap smear, mammogram, blood test, doctor visit, drink. There's a lot of words you can use there. So, ¿cuándo fue su último? So when was your last? Colesterol. Presión. Papa Nicolau. That's one of Dr. McGill's favorite words, so you could just say that, he'll just giggle every time. Mammograma. And then... Has he already said that, how he loves Papa Nicolau? He'll make you, like, if he finds out you can say it, he'll be like, say it.
He is a big fan of gubernaculum, though.
Oh, doesn't he like that word? He does.
That's truly impressive.
Has he called you yahoos yet? Yahoos? He'll call you a yahoo, which I'm like, it's Yahoo. He's like, it's Yahoo. I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm pretty sure it's a Yahoo. So, do you know how to do a self-breast exam? ¿Sabes cómo hacer un examen de mama? ¿Cómo sabes means do you know? I can say, ¿sabes mi hermana? Do you know my sister? ¿Sabes mi otro doctor? Do you know my other doctor? ¿Sabes is do you know? Have you been screened for colon cancer? Or ¿cuándo fue su último colonoscopy? And have you been screened for prostate cancer? ¿Cuándo el último examen de la próstata? And did you get a flu shot every year? ¿Ha tomado una vacuna contra la gripe? So there's some good words in here. So tomado means take, and you'll use it a lot. A lot of people use it like to take drinks, or like to swallow is also tomado or tomar, but it means to take. So they'll say, si tomar mi pastilla, and I think some of you may have heard that tomar means drink. So they'll say like, I drink my pill, is how it translates in English, but it also means take. So they take vaccines, is tomado. Vacuna is vaccine, and la gripe, every chief complaint is, I tiene la gripe, I've got the flu. But the gripe means sickness to them, or cold. But they'll use that term a lot. You'll hear la gripe a lot. I should have underlined that one. So, ¿sabes? Do you know? Colonoscopia. Prostata. Vacuna. This is how you end the visit. These are your prescriptions. Estas son sus recetas. receipts or prescriptions. You should come back in 1 week. Volver en una semana. Volver means come back. So I will, sometimes I'll say, espera un momento, I will come back. Soy volver. You need more tests. Necesitas más pruebas. Test is pruebas. And you need to see a specialist. So this is the word refer is underlined here. Referendolo, especialista. So you just have to say these letters out by themselves. Referendolo. Referendolo. That's referral. So recitas. That means
Prescription.
semana.
Semana.
Means week. Pruebas.
Pruebas.
Means test or examine. And you guys want to try specialist? Very good. That means refer, or I'm gonna refer you to. So sometimes we have to tell people they have to go to the hospital. Tienes que ir a la hospital. Ir means go. Hospital is the word for hospital. Call the clinic if you have any problems. Llame la clínica si tiene algún problema. Remember LL sounds like a Y. So llame, call. Go directly to the emergency room. Emergency means is emergencia. So you'll hear that word a lot. And then thank you for your visit. Gracias por su visita. So hospital. Hospital. Llame.
Llame.
Call. Emergencia.
Emergencia.
We're done.
Gracias.
So do you guys want to go back through any of these words, or y'all ready to take the quiz?
Are we playing Jeopardy?
I didn't make a Jeopardy thing for this. Maybe I should have.
We watched Dora.
You guys want to watch Dora?
Maybe like document stuffings and.
I couldn't find a Dora
That would be
medical.
so funny.
Dora needs to do a medical episode so we can look at
Surely.
some medical terms.
Her back, surely,
Surely.
her
So I
back will
thought
never
maybe
lost this.
next, I don't know, do you guys have anything you're scheduled next Wednesday for medical Spanish? No, there's nothing before. I'll try to remember to bring in some snacks. There's a lot of really good medical Hispanic food that's very different than anything we've had. I'll try to bring in some candy and some like breads from my favorite bakery, okay? So if you don't remember to eat your breakfast next week, probably have something.
What's your favorite bakery of the year?
Oaxaquena is my favorite bakery, and it's probably my favorite Mexican restaurant too. It's on 29th in between Western and Walker.